Now let's talk about URLs. URLs are also known as Uniform Resource Locator or the address of the pages of your website. See, every single page of your site has its own address. From the home page to the inside pages where you have your services and so forth listed, the page that talks about your team, about your business, your contact us page, every single blog post, basically every independent page on your website has its own URL, its own web address. That's how search engines are able to index and find every single page on your website. Now, the URLs, as per Google, are not taken into ranking consideration, at least not much. Having said that, my testing has always shown me better results if the URLs we use in websites are search engine optimized, are keyword optimized. So let me show you what I really mean by that. Here is a screenshot of a URL. Let's say this website, this domain is called example.com. Now I searched on Google clogged drains service. So I found this website on page 1. Let's call it example.com/residential-services/clogged-drains. So this is the URL of the website, of the landing page that talks about clogged drains, which is a subcategory of residential services for this particular business. So as you can see, there is keyword clogged drain or drains in the URL. Now here's an example of a bad URL. What happens is when the websites are built, often the URLs that they have are numbers. Unless and until the person who designs your website, unless they give every single page a URL, in most cases it will not be generated by itself. You have to do that. Of course, there are plugins in WordPress sites that will do it for you, but then again, you should always do it yourself. So this is a URL that is generated by default. It's probably a page number, an ID, and so forth, but it doesn't tell Google or humans for that matter what this page is about when they look at the URL. At least in previous case, we could tell that the page was about clogged drains. Here's another example. Now this is an over-optimized URL, or let's say it just has too many keywords. So this particular website is trying to optimize or rank this page high under clogged drain cleaning. Now I'm in Alpharetta, so they have the city name in here. They're also trying to rank high for drain line repair or drain line replacement or clogged drain replacement or repair and so forth. This is something called over optimization or too many keywords in a URL. This backfires. You don't want to ever over optimize or have too many keywords on your landing pages, in your blog posts, same thing in your URLs and so forth. So let's see what a good URL structure really is. Number 1, they should be highly relevant and accurate. Let me show you an example. So let's say if we write a URL, we'll call the website as example.com/ and let's say we are going to be writing a URL for mold removal service. Although this is for mold removal service, you can use it for any service that you provide. Same thing, you can do this for roof repair, it doesn't matter, it's mold removal, it could be carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, water damage restoration, air duct cleaning, teeth whitening. It doesn't matter if you're a dentist or if you have a dentist in your family who's struggling with their rankings. they can learn from these strategies and use it for their own businesses, for their own websites. I have worked with dentists for over 10 years as well. So let's say if they do teeth whitening, they could just go example.com/teeth -whitening. So let's go back to mold removal service. We said the URLs should be highly relevant and accurate. So it should be your website, example.com/mold removal, and that's it. Okay, it should have one primary keyword. So you should have one search phrase, one main keyword per URL. Don't try to have too many keywords in the URL that you make for every single page of your website. Also, there should be no keyword repetition. For example, let's say your main keyword is mold removal, but then you also know that people search for mold removal service, mold inspection, black mold removal, black mold inspection, and so forth. So you shouldn't have a page that says your website or example.com/mold removal hyphen or /mold inspection hyphen black mold removal, mildew remediation, and so on and so forth. There should be only one main keyword per URL. If you want to optimize your website or your URL or a landing page in mold inspection, then have a separate page for mold inspection and call it example.com/mold-inspection. Now, once in a while, you can have your city name in the URL. So it can be mold removal and your city name. But don't add your city name in every single page of your website. Once in a while may be okay. Your main service, you can do that. If you provide 6 or 7 different services, the one that you want to really focus on most, you can have your city name. But that's about it. Not in every single page, not in every single blog post. You don't want to add city name on your website. Make sure the URL that you create is not too long. Now, if your focus is only one keyword, if you do it right, it will not be long to begin with. But then again, the example that I just showed you before this, where the company says example.com/ and then 7 different words. You don't want to do that. Make sure it's short and easy to understand, easy to read by humans, and of course, search engines as well at the same time. Like I just said, they should be easy to read, so search engines and humans can understand it. Now make sure you use hyphens and not underscores or spaces or other characters when you write the URL of your landing pages. For example, if we go back to the same URL, then you should not have mold removal written like this. Or don't add a space between the 2 words either. Okay, you definitely don't want to use any other characters like mold % removal or mold and sign removal. None of that. Keep it simple. Mold -removal. Make sure you only use hyphens in your URLs and no other characters. Also, use lowercase letters only. Fairly simple to understand, but again, we don't want to do something like mold removal, where we have the first character of both words in uppercase. It should be simply mold removal. Or maybe you can have mold removal service. So again, be careful how you write the URLs for your website, for every single page, for every single blog post. If you write or when you write blog posts, by default, there are WordPress plugins that will create the title of your blog post as a URL itself. You want to reduce the length of the URL, or you should reduce the length of the URL if the title of your blog post is too long. So you want to make sure use the minimum amount of words that make sense, that are in lowercase, using hyphens. So start working on this, and I will see you in the next video.